Hey man, there's a shift that happens the moment a man stops chasing approval and starts protecting his standard. A quiet shift, a posture change, a presence adjustment. It's when you stop saying yes to keep peace and start saying no to keep power. And ironically, that word, no, spoken from calm confidence, not anger, not ego, not bitterness, but from a place of clear self-worth, is the very thing that makes her start leaning in. Because yes might make her feel liked, but no makes her feel something deeper. It makes her feel boundaries. And boundaries are the birthplace of respect. Most men are trained to be agreeable, to accommodate, to compromise even before there's been any real testing. They believe that by always saying yes, yes to plans, yes to her moods, yes to her pulling away, yes to her flakiness, they're being kind. But in her eyes, that's not kindness, that's softness. And softness without structure creates one reaction in a high-value woman: boredom. Because if a woman can walk all over your time, your emotions, your direction, and you keep smiling through it, what's left to earn? What's left to lean into? But the man who says no, that man is different. That man isn't unkind, he's anchored. She cancels a plan last minute. He says, that doesn't work for me, and doesn't explain. She starts testing his attention by flirting with another guy. He doesn't fight, doesn't argue, he just disengages, calmly. That no doesn't punish, it just creates space. And in that space, she feels the loss of your energy. Not because you made her feel bad, but because you reminded her, you don't get access to me on your terms alone. Saying no is powerful because it disrupts her control, and not in a manipulative way, in a corrective way. Most women don't even realize they're testing. They're just moving in emotional rhythms. But when you're always there, always available, always agreeable, she never gets to feel your edge. And without that edge, she loses attraction. But when you start saying no, not with malice, but with certainty, she feels the weight of your presence. She feels your identity. And suddenly, the game playing doesn't feel exciting anymore. It feels costly. Your no is your boundary. And a woman might act annoyed when you hold it. She might pull back. She might test it. But deep down, she respects it. Because now she knows there's a limit. That your attention has a standard. That your presence has conditions. Not because you're controlling, but because you value yourself too much to offer full access to someone who's giving you half effort. And when she realizes that, when she feels that your no is non-negotiable, that's when she starts saying yes. Yes is easy. It doesn't require discipline. It just requires desire. But no, that takes backbone. That takes clarity. That takes emotional control. You might want to see her. You might want to keep her around. But if she disrespects your time, if she brings chaos, if she crosses a line, you still say no. And that restraint, that integrity, that masculine posture that refuses to betray itself just to keep the connection, that's what shifts the dynamic. That's what makes her start seeing you as a man to rise to, not a boy to play with. Sometimes your no is what teaches her how to love you better. Because without correction, she doesn't know where the line is. She doesn't know how far she can push. And while that might feel fun for her in the moment, it doesn't create safety. It creates instability. But the man who can look her in the eye, without yelling, without begging, without threat, and say, no, that doesn't work for me, that man creates emotional structure. And that structure is what invites her femininity to relax and lean in. And here's the paradox most men don't get. Saying no to her sometimes makes her say yes more often. Why? Because now she's investing. Now she's adjusting. Now she's trying. You've given her something to earn. And that subtle effort, those small shifts she starts making to meet your energy, that's when desire becomes devotion. Because now it's not just attraction, it's respect-fueled alignment. And that kind of alignment doesn't just create chemistry, it creates trust. You also stop over-explaining. A weak no is one followed by 5 reasons and a soft apology. But a strong no is clean. It's direct. It doesn't chase emotional comfort. You're not rude. You're not dismissive. But you're clear. No, I'm not available this weekend. No, I don't tolerate being spoken to that way. No, I don't move forward with people who show inconsistency. You're not trying to convince her. You're just stating the boundary. And a woman might resist it in the moment, but deep down, she feels safer because of it. A desperate man says yes to stay liked. A strong man says no, because he already likes himself. That's the root of it all. You can't say no consistently unless you truly believe you're the prize, not because you're better than her, but because you've done the work to value yourself. You know what kind of woman belongs in your life, and more importantly, what kind doesn't. And you're not afraid to filter accordingly, not with force, not with arrogance, just with certainty. And that certainty, that's what makes her stop running the show and start showing up right. You see, brother, when you say no from a place of emotional clarity, you're not rejecting her, you're defining yourself. You're communicating your values, your expectations, your non-negotiables. And that clarity forces her to look inward and ask herself, can I meet that? And sometimes that no is the wake-up call, the line that stops her in her tracks. The moment she realizes she's not dealing with just another man trying to win her over, but a man who's already won over himself, that energy changes everything. Because now, she's no longer deciding whether she wants you. She's deciding whether she can rise to what you require. Women don't fall for men who chase. They fall for men who hold ground. And no is the language of grounding. It says, I'm rooted. I know who I am. I know what I'll tolerate and what I won't. And if you want to be close to me, it's not about pleasing me. It's about matching this frequency. That doesn't scare a high-quality woman. It awakens her. It snaps her out of autopilot. It reminds her that not all men are pushovers. That there are still men out here who won't bend just because she's beautiful or just because she acts distant. And once she knows that you're not one of those guys, that's when she leans in deeper. And here's the truth. The man who says yes to everything may feel accepted, but he's rarely respected. Because he's not offering strength, he's offering submission. He's not setting the tone, he's reacting to hers. And when a woman senses that your world revolves around her, she starts pulling away. Not because she's mean, but because the dynamic feels off. She doesn't want to be your center. She wants to join your movement. She wants to follow a man who knows where he's going, with or without her. And the word no is often the first time she feels that movement. This is why your no must be backed by consistency. It can't be a threat. It can't be emotional. It must be principled. If she disrespects your time and you say no to that behavior, you don't reverse it the next day because she sends a sweet message. You hold the boundary. You don't re-engage just because the silence feels uncomfortable. You let the silence speak. You let her sit in the space your no created. Because that's where transformation happens. That's where respect grows. That's where she starts saying yes from a place of choice, not from a place of convenience. And let's be real, some women will push against your no. They'll call you controlling, arrogant, distant. But that's just their ego reacting to a reality they're not used to. Most women are surrounded by men who say yes to everything, who fold, who chase, who fear rejection. You're not that. You're something else entirely. You're the reminder that attraction isn't about being agreeable, it's about being intentional. And even if she resists it at first, if she has any depth, she'll come back stronger. Not because you played her, but because you held the frame she didn't know she needed. Saying no also does something powerful to your own mind. It reinforces your identity. It reminds you of your worth. It keeps your standards sharp. Every time you say no to chaos, to inconsistency, to disrespect, you're telling yourself, I'm not available for anything that weakens me. And the more you do that, the less you seek validation from others because you're now giving it to yourself. That self-respect becomes visible. Women don't just hear your confidence, they feel it. And the more they feel it, the more they want to be around it. Not to control it, but to be chosen by it. You'll start to notice that the women who truly value you respond best to your no. They don't argue it, they adjust to it. They ask deeper questions. They show more effort. They give you less attitude and more alignment. Why? Because they can feel that your no isn't about control, it's about direction. And most women, especially strong feminine women, crave direction. They don't want to lead the emotional interaction. They want to be invited into your world. And that invitation doesn't start with yes. It starts with, here's how I move. Join me if you can. Even in intimate relationships, no becomes a form of love. No, I won't tolerate distance with no communication. No, I won't let you speak to me with that tone. No, I won't cancel my priorities for last-minute attention. These aren't threats, they're reminders. They say, I love you, but I love myself too. And in a healthy relationship, your woman will not only respect those boundaries, she'll be grateful for them, because now she knows you'll lead with clarity, you'll protect the energy. You won't let her spiral without feedback, and that clarity, that's what builds long-term security. So many men are afraid of scaring women away with no. But here's the truth, brother. If no scares her away, she was never staying anyway. She was staying for comfort, not for respect. She was staying because you were easy, not because you were worthy. And when you say no and she walks, let her. Because that's not rejection, it's alignment, protecting your peace. And the more you honor that, the more room you make for women who hear your no and respond with yes, I see you. Yes, I want to match you. Yes, I respect what you stand for. So remember this, man, your no doesn't push her away. It pulls her closer, if she's the right one. It creates a boundary. It creates emotional contrast. It creates a frame that says, this is who I am. This is how I move. And you're welcome here, but not at the cost of my clarity. Say no calmly. Say it early. Say it without guilt. Say it from your spine, not from your fear. And when you live like that, you stop chasing yes and start receiving it from women who now see you as the rare man who doesn't need to say yes to be chosen.